Grace, welcome. We're glad you're here. Grace is a remarkable church community. God calls us to love one another and to take care of each other, especially those who are marginalized, lonely, poor, or in need. And Grace supports many wonderful ministries meeting the needs of our neighbors, in other words, our fellow human beings. And I want to talk a little bit about food insecurity. Food insecurity is rising in Kitsap County. Many local food banks report serving 30 to 50% more people since 2023. And even with the increased demand for assistance, food banks are experiencing reduced funding from the U.S. government, impacting their ability to provide assistance to those experiencing food insecurity. Specifically, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, or TFAP, which buys food from domestic producers and sends it to food banks, has had its funding cut and paused. Additionally, the Food Purchase Assistance Program, which provides funding for food banks to purchase local produce, has also faced funding reductions. Our federal government is also planning to reduce funding for vital programs such as SNAP and WIC. So people are getting hungrier. How can we help? Good news here. Well, one of my very favorite ministries that we support here at Grace is the GOD, or Gifts of Dirt Garden. It's a community garden that's just beautiful. It's in the middle of Bainbridge Island, and produce and flowers are grown and given to our local food bank helpline. Grace budgets $18,000 for outreach ministries, and of that, $4,200 is designated for the Gifts of Dirt Garden. Peggy Ashcroft here and Barb Simonson are in charge of this huge project. Peggy is gardener extraordinaire, and she also coordinates the many volunteers that keep it running. So, if food insecurity disturbs you, or if you're feeling angst or just anxious about the world affairs, give Peggy a call, and she can put you to work hauling sandbags, or manure, or whatever, and you can work it out. Or if you need quiet meditation time, give Peggy a call, and she can put you to work. You can soak up the beauty of the garden, and you can meditate while you harvest snap peas or flowers. This garden is exactly what God wants us to do, and it meets the diverse needs of many people. So Peggy, could you tell us a little bit about the garden, the vision, how it got started, and the things you do?
Sure. And call me. The Gifts of Dirt garden idea, it took root about 5 months before the pandemic hit. So it was an odd pairing, because all of a sudden we couldn't come to church. We wanted to get together for fellowship. The garden was the place. A few of us old-time backpacker women were sitting around a fire, and somebody brought up the fact that the neighbor's garden plot was, which is 100 feet by 100 feet, was without a farmer. And so the flame flickered. What if we were to grow food for our local food bank? Well, the owner of the plot, Bart Berg, thought it was a great idea, and Gifts of Dirt was born. We didn't know how to farm, but guess what? The former farmer was very generous with her time and showed us how to successfully farm 26 90-foot rows of vegetables and flowers. We also didn't have funds for such a full-scale garden, so we asked the outreach committee at Grace if they would be interested in sponsoring such a project. They responded with an enthusiastic yes, and it is those funds that provide us with a beautiful hoop house, compost, seeds, and garden supplies. We were a small group to manage this sizable tract of land, so we asked for help and got it from the folks from Grace. We loaded wheelbarrows with compost, spread compost, and got down on our knees to plant little seedlings, and we relied very heavily on volunteers for harvesting. Today, last year, the Gifts of Dirt donated 1,700 pounds of fresh produce to the Helpline House. And the flowers, it's about a third flowers, 2/3 vegetables. The flowers we donate to IVC, who makes bouquets for people that need some cheer in their life. We take 12 buckets every week into IVC. People make bouquets, and we do that for 6 weeks every summer. So as we're pleased with the amount of produce and flowers that we're able to supply, really the roots of the garden go much deeper. The rich fellowship that is grown here as we work side by side in a common effort to provide food and cheer for our community is immeasurable. Thank you, everyone. And I would like to make a heartfelt addendum here, and that is that we have an unsung hero at the garden whose name is Barb Simonson. She doesn't attend here. You probably won't recognize her face. She's the backbone of this garden. We would not have this garden without Barb Simonson. She leads, we follow, and the work gets done. She puts in more time in this garden than all of the volunteers put together. Thank you, Barb Simonson, and thank you all.
So I have the pleasure to be the one that invites you all today after this wonderful celebration at the coffee hour to come and actually see this wonderful, beautiful, almost magical garden that your contributions, that it is truly the Grace Garden. And it's very close. It's on the way home. 8 minutes down the road, we have directions here in the front narthex. I cannot tell you how lovely this is, how you feel the energy there, and how you see these volunteers and leaders working and trying to fulfill Jesus's request of us, feed my lambs. So I hope to see you there today. Thank you.